Yo!
What is
Oh, a Sunday night in Ottawa.
Sunday Fun Day, as they say?
I wonder where that came from. The
Some
origin of Sunday Fun Day. Is it just because of the rhyme, or there's a legit reason?
it's literally someone who doesn't work a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's like, yeah, Sunday Fun Day. Let's just do that.
Because they don't have to get up bright and early Monday
No
morning.
commitments, like 0 kids for sure. At least those that they know of, anyway. No work, and if they do, they're starting at 3 p.m. on Monday. Man, I'll tell you, that's one thing I miss from my youth is having those work shifts where it's like, oh, I gotta start at 4. I have a 4 to 9 shift, or I have a 3 to 9
4 to
shift.
9. Yeah.
And even at that time, I found a reason to bitch about it. Like, oh, really? Like 4 to 9? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's never bitch about the job. It's a bitch about having to have a job.
That's right. No,
So you
I'm
see
just like,
the flip side of you can have the 4 to 9, or you can have the city hours of like a 7 to 3.
bankers' hours, cities' hours, yeah. Government workers
That's right.
have all those days off.
What'd you get up to this weekend? Aside from the kids, unfortunately, not
Yeah,
too hot.
couple of boosters. Don't let the occupiers hear that; they might get upset. Yeah, a couple of boosters for the boys. Yesterday was a bit rough. Still, Oliver went to karate and powered through it, which was great.
Nice.
And then actually watched the skills competition on Friday. And then yesterday, like I was kind of, jumping in and out of the All-Star game for the NHL, but to no length of like actually knowing what was going on, or how it was playing out.
What did you think of the All-Star game? The skills comp.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why I thought it was good was because of how they mixed it up a little bit being in Vegas. Like that. I think that's a big challenge with All-Star games across every sport, really, to be honest, except for NFL because they don't really have one. But it's how do you create an engaging, exciting, interesting festivities for the fans? And I feel like the NHL struggles with that, or at least it's so mundane that I don't really care about it. But what I liked about this year's skills competition was because it was in Vegas, they were on the pond and they did that pond competition where they're flicking it onto the little circles, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second one was
the lily pads.
The lily pads, and then the blackjack. So I liked, I kind of enjoyed that, to be completely honest, because it was different. It was something that I haven't seen before, and even for the players, you could tell because they weren't quite sure how to react with the interviews. I think it was Jerry D that was like the MC.
Yeah, the
for those
off-camera
events.
one. That seemed weird to me.
Which one? The
fact that
one?
just the interview. Like he's interviewing them, but it's all in an earpiece because he's not actually with them like you would in the traditional sense.
It was kind of interesting that he was chirping them, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like the chirping.
I liked that. Yeah, like I enjoyed that. I thought it was different, and I feel like that is only because it's Vegas that you have that ability to switch it up. Like like if next time it's in Boston, like they're not going to switch it up by having a clam chowder eating contest with the players because it's native to Boston. So there's only certain things you can do with certain cities to make it a bit more appealing. But aside from that, it was good. The Zegras goal, what was his name for Anaheim?
Yeah.
Like that, the dodgeball, like that makes me wonder, like, could he actually see through that blindfold, or was that legit?
And then he lost to, was it?
Was it Hughes?
No, he lost to one of the Vegas guys, the hometown guy. I can't remember. It escapes me now.
Yeah,
it wasn't Stone or Marchessault.
I can't remember.
Ah,
I'm not gonna lie. I was playing a bit of poker online with my neighbors because we do that most Fridays. Then I had it on in the background. But yeah,
did you win?
I won the 4th game.
Nice.
I lost the first 3. So yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed the All-Star game. But like I said earlier, it's just a struggle. Like even as a diehard baseball fan, I could watch a home run derby all night every year. Like I have no problem. But for the fans that aren't as vested in it as I am, I can see how it can be boring. I can see how it can run its course with like, okay, 5 rounds, 30 home runs each or 20 home runs each. Like it gets a bit repetitive and boring. I can see that. And I feel like that's the struggle with All-Star games is how do you keep it enticing? How do you keep it fresh? I feel like there really isn't a way. You might be better off just giving the players their weekend and then they come back, a little bit more rested.
Which is what they want, right?
Well, like which is what some players want too.
Yeah, they don't want to go anymore. They rather just take that time and spend it with their families. But I remember as a kid, I was all about the All-Star game because that was the only time you got to see the best players playing together. And now I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
seems like if they don't want to be there, why do I want to watch it?
So I agree with you. Like when we were growing up, it was the only opportunity that we would get to see all the players, the best players playing together. But I feel like nothing has changed in that respect because it's not like we're seeing any World Cup of Hockeys. We're not seeing any Olympics. We're not seeing like they're not at the World Championship every year. Like those are CD list type players. Yet it's lost its appeal for us. Is that just because is the All-Star game really just for the youth and the naivety of it all?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it might be.
Because
I aged out of it.
Yeah, like I feel we just like they're good.
We say that now, but like in the mid-30s, we were like, "Oh, what's this? Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk are all in a movie together. This is what I wanted to see since I was a kid."
Yeah, I will take seconds, please.
Yeah,
I will take seconds. Yeah,
like that's the debate now. What is the bigger moment in the past decade? Is it Endgame or is it seeing 3 versions of Spider-Man teaming up together?
Has to be Endgame. I mean, it has to be Endgame. And yeah, would you share it? Would you feel the same way?
Oh yeah, it would be that scene where everybody assembles in Endgame.
Yeah, mind you, like as a fan, 3 Spider-Mans in the same scene.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
There's a lot of flack going around about Sony trying to push the No Way Home VFX for best VFX Oscar, and everyone was just pointing out the massive failure that was the reproduction of the Tobey Maguire suit compared to what it was in the other movies, and people are even going back. Yeah, and people are also going back to like the CG in the first Iron Man versus how the CG looked in this movie. Some side-by-side comparisons, I think it holds weight. I thought the graphics in Iron Man was superb for 2008 compared to a lot of the polish that they have now.
Yeah, and they were, I feel as though I would almost bet my last dollar to say that with Iron Man, they were working on not quite a shoestring budget, but pretty close. And there were instances where they didn't know if the movie was going to make final cut and go into distribution and whatnot. Like I feel that's what they were up against because it was the first of its kind. It was, it was at the time a very B plus type character, like not a Captain America, not a Spider-Man, not a Wolverine of the time. Like it was Iron Man. Not many people knew who Iron Man was. So I can understand where the CGI might be lacking. And I think like the first scene I think of when you mention that is the it's the scene where he's walking away after he shoots his missiles and he's walking away from the terrorists and they blow up in the and it's like okay. But also that was 14 years ago. So at the time, I could have been beside myself thinking like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever. I'm going to buy a Marvel Legends Iron Man toy.
Do you have a Marvel Legends Iron Man toy?
I actually had one come in this week, so classic. Yeah,
That's right. You did.
Yeah, but I don't know if there has been quite a bit of improvement in terms of the CGI with the MCU. I heard that I read this weekend that Dakota Fanning? No, Dakota Johnson. Is that Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson's daughter? I
It
think it
is.
is. Yeah,
It
she's
is.
playing Madden Web.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I'd like to see if there's any connectivity to MCU at all, or if it's just the Sonyverse, if that's what they call it.
What's the other question too? Is who's also banging down the door for a Madam Web movie? Out like just on its own, not even just an inclusion of Spider.
You know what? It's just ride that Spider-Man train while it's chugging along.
So I guess like $2 billion is like, you know what? Let's just expand as much as we possibly can.
That's it. Yeah. No, I think they are trying to capitalize as much on Spider-Man as they can right now. So, what'd you get up to this weekend?
Visit in-laws today. Took the kids skating up at their place, and then come home. It was basically one of those days. They live 2 hours west of here, so 4 hours of driving is kind of.
When you say 2 hours west, what are we talking here? For people that don't know.
The small community known as Killaloe near Barry's Bay.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a trek.
That is quite a trek. How are the conditions driving up? How are the roads? Like, how are the roads? I've only ever been there in the summertime, so I don't quite know.
Getting there it was fine.
Yeah.
Roads were clear. Coming back, snow's starting a little more west to east, so we kind of didn't have any, drove into it, drove out of it, and now it's snowing here.
And they have an ODR?
Yes, but it's really just a pond that's frozen over that they've been scraping and polishing up and smoothing out.
How was it? I'm sure it was fine though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Parker had his
just
stick.
Bring your net out, and if they fall through, you just scoop them up with the net.
He had the hockey net, but everyone was there just in case anything happens. But it's pretty frozen over.
Yeah.
And then drive back home, put him to bed. School tomorrow.
Just like that, eh? Like, where is it? I think it was.
And it's over.
I think England. Was it England that was saying that they were starting to? No, it wasn't England. It was somewhere in Europe. There was a country that says that they were going to pilot a 4-day work week. And I think to myself, man,
a European country that's
Sweden or
Norway,
Switzerland, Norway. I would totally do that though. I would work 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day for a 3-day weekend every week. 100%. I would do that.
Yeah, if they can guarantee that it's not going to be more, because like we have 8-hour days now that turn into 10, 12 hours depending on your workload, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I like to see what this was. It the law or whatever the provincial government's putting in? It's that like the right to like disconnect or something like that is supposed to be going to effect.
Well, I know that in Spain, in a faraway land called Spain.
Okay.
They are not allowed to. They passed an actual law where they're not allowed to, like, bosses, managers, what have you, are not allowed to engage their employees after business hours, outside of business hours.
I wonder if the loophole is providing somebody with a work cellular device. If that is the loophole in it all.
Like a bat phone.
Yeah, like if they give you a phone, are you on call regardless of anything?
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna pay for your phone, but if we call you at 2:15 in the morning, bitch, you better answer.
That's what I fear. That's what I fear is going to be the loophole in all.
You know what? I'm sure. Perhaps
I'd give it back. Here you go.
I wouldn't have the strongest of confidence in knowing that they would fine managers if they called their employees at 9:15 at night. So, I mean, let's see how strong this law is. It might be as strong as a wet paper bag, to be honest.
Until a new government takes over and it's out the
It
window.
just might. That's right.
I was surprised to see that
platform. We're going to abolish.
Yeah, you are going to work 24/7.
Yeah, that's right.
Deal with it. I was very surprised
Just
to see
do it.
that this year is the 25th season of South Park.
Man, really?
I cannot believe it has gone that long and is allowed to still be on, given everything about everything that we cannot do or say anymore.
Okay, so full disclosure, like I haven't seen an episode then since like season 12 or
like
11.
Its heyday.
Yeah, 25.
25. Yeah.
What is it on? Is it on Comedy Central?
It's still on Comedy Central. Yeah, it's still rocking on Comedy Central. I think now they signed with Paramount, so they're on their streaming platform too. But here's the thing: it's the 25th season, but the last 2 years they didn't do anything. Well, they did a couple specials, but they didn't do any seasons because of the pandemic. So technically, this would be the 27th season, almost 30 years.
Is that because they couldn't social distance the drawings?
I just think maybe just I guess it's not a funny time, I guess.
What?
Knowing them.
But when have they ever given a shit about what Joe Public thinks about any topic?
They don't. They still don't. They're making I watched the last episode. Oh, I guess the one that aired. And it was basically.
It on? Sorry, what day of the week?
Wednesdays. I think Wednesday nights now.
Okay, prime time.
They basically they're making fun of everyone's argument now, where depending on what side of the aisle you're on, I guess irregardless of what side of the aisle you're on, when you're getting into an argument, you just bring in Nazi Germany, right? So like, oh, you can't do this. Well, this is Nazi Germany. That was basically the big crux of it. It was they were kind of taking the kids were gonna have a pajama day at school. That was, and then it turned into kids lost the right because they weren't behaving. So parents were like, well, this is Nazi Germany, and they passed sort of some sort of mandate where parents were not allowed to have pajama days to work, and then that resulted in
Nazi Germany.
And then people weren't allowed to go into restaurants because it's a fancy restaurant wearing their pajamas. Like you can't go in without a mask. So it was stuff like that.
Nazi Germany. Okay. It's very poignant though, because I feel as though Jim Jordan has said that at least 1 or 3 times in the last 12 to 18 months, much like I feel someone on the left side of the aisle has said that. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they would have an episode of that, because I'm sure that's been thrown around. Christ, we have Nazi flags flying in Ottawa this weekend, which is saddening, but it's yeah, people are definitely saying it on both sides of the aisle, so why not write about it? Is it still the same guys that are
Trey and Matt? Yeah, they're still doing it.
Jeez.
Every couple of years you see like a thing come out from them, like this is it, like I can't do this anymore, and then here we go.
Why? Because they're upset with each other? Like, are they
no, it's just like they run out of ideas. Like they're sitting there. There's a good documentary on them. I think was 6 days to air. Basically they write a show and produce it and all that within 6 days. So they covered them, and like you'll literally see the two of them sitting in a room just trying to think of an episode.
Wow.
And they'll throw out ideas and that's kind of funny, and they'll write it on the board, and then they try to map out an episode from that.
But you think I don't know what their level of popularity is at this given time, but I know that at one point in time that they were extremely popular. They were making side movies like Basketball, and they were just in the mind of the public for sure. That wouldn't you at that point consider bringing on like staff writers that are cut from the same cloth as you are in terms of your humor, so that it's not just you and like Trey and Matt just writing the episodes. Like I just figured like they almost pigeonholed themselves
Yeah, like one
into
would
writing these
assume.
episodes.
I
Like they
know.
should have just brought on like a team of comedians. Like go down to the local yuck
Yeah,
yucks and just see what's going on. And if there's someone that's brash like you are, then hire them.
I
If it
know
were only
for a
that
while
easy.
Bill Hader was a creative consultant on there for a while too. I'm pretty sure he's been gone.
Oh wow.
Obviously, since he's doing like Barry and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I guess it's just one of those things where they just make sure it's their voice, right, from start to finish. No compromising.
I can
things like
see that. Like for sure. Like it's it's their creation, it's their voice, it's their ideas. Like I can completely respect that they want it to be from the creative minds of Matt and Trey, whatever their last names are. But you also need to give yourself a bit of wiggle room so that there isn't a documentary that points out that you're scrambling in the 11th hour of an episode. Now, thank goodness that these episodes are just, pieces of paper, or what would you call that type of animation? It's not
I guess it's kind of like stop motion, right? When they first
stop motion. Okay. Yeah.
You line up your frame, snap a picture, move it, snap a picture.
Okay, completely take that back then, because that sounds very tedious and time.
It's all computers. All computers now, right?
Well, yeah, and I guess you do. It's like Spider-Man 67. Like you just do the same shit. And it's just stockpile. So
Parker wants to watch the old Spider-Man. I'm very tempted to show it to him, but I don't think he'll like it.
No, I mean, hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. I feel as though it's just a sign of the times,
Yeah, it didn't take me long to realize when I was watching as a kid is maybe probably the second episode is wait a minute, you're just recycling the same backgrounds and shots all the time.
The pointing of the hands.
Yeah, and then like the web swing to the camera, and then cuts to behind of him swinging away.
That's right. Yeah, but it was the only thing that we had growing up, so we loved it and we ate it with a spoonful.
And then like the talking where it's literally just the mouth and the eyes shifting left and right.
Although you know what, I when we went to go see Spider-Verse, what was it, a couple of years ago, in that cutscene at the end, the boys just ate it up and they just were beside themselves laughing when it was Spider-Man 29.9 and then 67 pointing at each other. Why are you pointing your finger? Stop pointing your finger. And but then, I think to myself, well, would you really laugh and think it's funny if it was that for an entire episode? Maybe
now going, this is ridiculous. You watched this?
Yeah. Are you crazy?
Like he watches the 94 cartoon.
That's one of the best cartoons ever, though.
It was the MCU of the time. Was Daredevil in it, Iron Man, War Machine,
Strange, yeah, X-Men. Like it was
Madam Web.
And it was almost like I feel like it was almost ahead of its time, because there were certain cutscenes in certain parts of the intro and whatnot where they were like, it was flashy and it wasn't just drawings and art. It was almost like light flashes, and like they kind of mixed the both, and they it was definitely ahead of its time, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I remember when it ended, watching the last episode, just not thinking that this was over. I'm like, oh, that's funny, it's gonna be on next time, and then never again.
It's funny though, you look at old cartoons from when we were kids, Transformers, Spider-Man, Mask, all these cartoons from when we were younger, and then He-Man, they didn't last very long. But you thought as a kid when we were watching it, because we were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that they were on for years, but it was just they had one season with like 24 episodes, and then another season with another 24 episodes, so 48, 50, sometimes a bit more. And so it felt like it was, a lifetime's worth of episodes, but really it wasn't, you know.
But also at the same time, for me, I think I tended to lose interest or grow out of the show, and then just forgetting about it, not realizing that it's over. It's like, oh, this is still on. I can catch up with it at some other point. And then
what's the first TV show that comes to mind for you like that?
I never finished. I've watched it since then, but I'm pretty sure I stopped watching Batman the Animated Series before it was done.
Oh, really?
I didn't care for when it was the New Adventures of Batman and Robin as nearly as much. When they changed the whole look of it, I know it was to tie it into the Superman cartoon that they ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think I ever watched Justice League and Justice League Unlimited until well after it was over. I've heard it is like the superior series to even both. Well, Superman.
I would say Unlimited definitely was, just because it was the expanded universe of Justice League. I'm surprised though with animated series.
Also, Animaniacs.
Animaniacs,
I did not finish that one either.
Animaniacs was awesome. Hello, nurse. The first one that comes to mind for me is it wasn't a cartoon, but it was Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Well, that shit's still going on.
No, I know.
but yeah, I know.
The first OG season, the OG first season, but then I felt like it had me for about a season or two, at least a season.
It's like Green Ranger.
And then it just switched, and they probably this time they have motorcycles. Like they have a moped now, and their moped turns into a alligator, and it's like, okay, I'll catch up with this later.
Yeah. Green Ranger turned into the White Ranger.
Yeah. But that first season and two or whatever season and a half was unbelievable.
Everybody watched it. That was like the OJ trial. Everybody was watching it for the kids.
So true.
There was nobody who didn't watch that show. You can talk to even people you didn't like. You would talk to about it.
Yeah, that was the common ground with bullies.
Yeah.
Oh, you watched this too? Oh,
it was that and Pogs.
My brother was in the Pogs. Huge in the Pogs. I wasn't so
the
myself.
Underground, but very much in public gambling system of schools.
Has it? Yeah, it's almost like dice, right? When you're throwing it against the wall, it was Pogs, right? Has it ever made a comeback? I don't think so. No,
everything's digital now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's NFTs, right?
Send me the app. NFTs. Apparently, Brie Larson. And admittedly, I didn't read the full article, but Brie Larson, I guess, was promoting NFTs.
Okay.
And fans of the MCU just came down, just bashing her for it. But I feel as though, for whatever reason, since she signed on to play Carol Danvers, she's caught some level of flack from fans. Whether it was her portrayal of Carol Danvers and how she was very, like, I've heard reviews and fan feedback that she didn't really play the part properly. But then also in the Infinity Saga, where like the last two movies, that she wasn't really engaging. She wasn't believable as a character and like her power set and whatnot. And now this, and I just feel like hasn't been given a fair shake. I
have two gripes with her, but it's not even really her. Like, one, I just find like with the trailers, I found her voice to be kind of
off.
Like it didn't seem like
believable.
I'd say not believable, but it's like just doesn't seem like the voice of what that character would have. But again, it's nothing. That's her voice. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Didn't mind in the movie, I guess, because longer period of time. And then other than that, like she, aside from that movie, she's got probably 10 minutes of screen time across those other three.
Mm-hmm.
So they, including the Shang-Chi post-credit scene. So they're not really giving her much to do.
Well, and it was it was literally two post-credit scenes in one movie, because it was Infinity War post-credit, in Endgame
More or less, yeah.
back 9 of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the Shang-Chi post-credit. I agree with you though that her sound, like, to me, Carol Danvers Captain Marvel is very stoic, and like almost I feel as though like almost the female version of Captain America, where she leads by example, and she like under duress and stress, she can still be confident in herself and others and the capabilities and whatnot. And I just felt that she didn't portray that. Now, granted, part of that movie was her dealing with memory loss and not quite knowing who she was. But I still feel like there could have been cracks in that as she's learning who she was through Captain Marvel, that she could have still portrayed some of that leadership. And even at the times when she did come across as confrontational and stern and confident and all that, like, I just don't know that it was completely believable in my opinion. So yeah, maybe the griping from the MCU fans are justified. Maybe.
She does seem like a fun person, though. Like, outside of it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you think she's like a cooking show or something during the pandemic or on social media?
Have you seen the Batman trailers?
Yes.
Batman trailers?
Oh, ironically, ever since the last episode of this, I have rewatched Zodiac.
Oh, okay. So what's it streaming on?
Well, I have the movie, so I just watched
it
and stuff.
Because
I imagine it's Warner Brothers, so it'd be HBO Max, so probably on Crave.
We gotta watch that. We have to watch that.
The first, like, it's almost 3 hours, but like the first hour when it's legit all the murders that are happening, it's a hard sit. Just, it's so unsettling because of how random all that stuff was. In reality, it's treated so random in this movie and so realistic. But then later, it's more of the whole, who is this guy? Like the whole mystery behind it. That's the easier sit on for the rest of it.
So does Downey Jr. play the journalist? I can't remember the journalist.
He's one of
them.
Yeah, he's one. Like, you have Ruffalo's like the main detective. Jake Gyllenhaal is a cartoonist who, after like the killings die down and the cases kind of become a cold case, he tries to figure it all out himself, get back into it. Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it for sure.
Yeah,
so have you seen any of the Batman trailers?
Yeah, well, that's why I brought it up, because I was seeing Matt Reeves saying that his Riddler, or Dano's Riddler in this movie, is based on the Zodiac killer, which I think is going to make it even more interesting watch.
I could totally see that. Now, granted, I've only seen the first trailer, and I'm trying to go on a media blackout for it. But I've seen images in comic books of, like, just so I know what he looks like, the Riddler. But
it makes sense, because like that's the character, right? Like, he riddles, he torments people with his riddles. That's the Riddler. But yeah, this is obviously gonna be more cryptic and
and I think is it Colin Farrell's playing the Penguin?
Penguin, yeah.
So there's gonna be Penguin, there's gonna be Riddler, there's gonna be Catwoman, which I think is a good, like, you don't need to throw the kitchen sink at the movie. And I feel like, is it Matt Reeves that's directing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. And I feel as though Robert Pattinson has gotten the same amount of flack that, like, Heath Ledger did when they announced that he was going to play the Joker, where it's like, oh my God, really? You want a Knight's Tale guy to play the Joker? Like, are you kidding me? And he turned out to be like, Brokeback. You want Brokeback to do this? And then he ended up posthumously winning an Oscar. And I feel, and again, like, I haven't seen any of the trailers except for the first one on purpose, but I feel as though Robert Pattinson is going to surprise everyone with his portrayal as Bruce Wayne. And I think it's going to be more of like a broken man, I guess. and like really feeling the effects of his parents being murdered, and like the trauma that he's gone through as a kid, and like what he's overcome and where he's at and whatnot. And I feel that was one of the things that even in the comics, like, oh, he just got over that. Both of his parents had died in front of him, and he just came over that, and he's fighting crime and this, that, and the other. But like, there's got to be a sense of realism with him being traumatized by that, and I feel as though Pattinson's going to give that, and he's going to be a little bit fucked up. He's going to be, on the other hand, motivated to rid the city of crime in Gotham.
Yeah, I find aside from the Nolan movies, I think they also glossed over that too with the other four. Less so the first Keaton Batman, and I think they tried to do more with that in Kilmer's first one, well, his only one. But I think the studio stepped in and scrapped all that because there was supposed to be a lot more scenes with him going into his psyche and when he finds the bat, like there was apparently a scene with this giant bat that like visions or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
But definitely the Clooney one was just like, meh, nothing happened.
Yeah, well, yeah. The Kilmer was the third one, right? Like,
yeah,
Keaton played the first two, and then it wasn't like Vicky Vale was in the first two films.
First one,
but
yeah. So Selena Kyle was the second one.
Who's the counter? That's right, with Michelle Pfeiffer. That's right.
Yeah.
Who's the with
Dr. Chase Meridian, Nicole
Kidman, and that's right. She was trying to like get into the psyche of the bat. Yeah, I can see that 100%.
Then they cut all that out.
Really worked out for the studio, didn't it?
I don't know.
Bat nipples.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Oh man. DC just can't. Like they can't. I think no matter what their own way.
Yeah, that's what everyone's gonna do. No matter what you do, they're gonna go back to bat nipples, the bat credit card, and ice to see you.
Oh, yes.
Never leave the cave without it.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Well, yeah, and then the ice to see you, like the Mr. Freeze.
Pun after pun.
I'm gonna put you on ice.
Cold day in Gotham.
I'm really hoping that the Flash movie is going to
erase all that.
Yeah, like, and I feel like they're like, I hope that with like Flashpoint and the power that it has to retcon literally every movie that DC's made at this point. Let's be honest, maybe I'd say 97% of them. There's probably a few good movies in there somewhere. Just have to look for them. That Flashpoint, I really hope that Flashpoint is going to do itself justice and be a good movie, especially because Michael Keaton is going to be in it, and the original, like the OG '89 Batman, is going to be in it, and like I'm so excited, but I'm so worried at the same time. And Flash is one of my favorite characters too, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like that's gonna come out. It's gonna quote reset DC, and then it looks like they're going all female because it's Supergirl, Batgirl's getting a HBO Max movie. Harley Quinn is like their pride and joy.
Maybe not after the. Wait a minute, hold on. This is gonna be all female. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's the next things that are coming out are like I think Supergirl's in the Flash movie and Batgirl's getting a movie. Which rumor is going to have Keaton in as well?
Yeah, Supergirl is in the Bat movie. That's right, or the Flash movie. Yeah, that's true.
So Superman's gone. Batman essentially could just be, which like, I wonder if they're going to kind of do a Batman Beyond with Batgirl if Keaton's going to be in it, which is the current rumor.
That'd be sick. He's 70 years old. Would you believe
like
that?
The man on the the man on the computer, like Ned.
Yeah. No, I think nostalgia, the nostalgia in me would be like, about, you know what, I'm willing to give him 9 yards of leash if, just to make it like a decent movie. I'll allow it, you know what? Yeah, it's admissible. It's admissible. Let's see how Michael Keaton does. No, but I could definitely see a Batman Beyond type of movie. But yeah, like just resetting everything would be great. I'm not entirely sold on Ezra Miller as Flash, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's hard, man, because like you're so used to Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, like that just seems like how anybody should play him, right? Kind of guess that when we're used to Keaton and Kilmer, Clooney, this Christian Bale guy.
Yeah,
you go back to that. Like when I first saw the pilot for The Flash, first thing I thought was, this is just a cheap imitation of Peter Parker. Until I saw more episodes.
Yeah. I could see that 100%.
And I saw more episodes of it, and I see that actually no, they're kind of they're definitely going a different way. Still in the vein of a Peter Parker, but
Are you still watching, or have you watched Flash? Are you still watching Flash? What's your update with that? Yeah,
still watching it. It's to me. I know. I think you feel the other way, obviously, because it's your favorite character. The first 2 seasons were the best, and everything else pales in comparison.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
I'll even say the first season, hands down, was just perfection from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like I like things where they give you enough to put you ahead of where the character is, so you're kind of like, no, like don't do this because that's the bad guy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also, they don't give you enough to just confirm your suspicions. And you're still learning as it's going, but you're also kind of well aware.
And you're following along. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I haven't watched the most recent season yet, and I had a hard time getting through the last season. But I feel
hard, but you can really get a sense that the world events are affecting storytelling. A lot of scenes don't have many people in it, and people are gone for no reason, and then they're there again, and other people are gone.
So here's the problem that I think is going. Here's what I think is going on with the Flash, and the problem that it has is that, like Batman, Flash has in the comics one of the best rogues gallery out there. He has a variety of different villains that he fights, each with their own unique power and reason for being and reason for hatred of him in the city, and motives and intent and all that. So there's a wide variety of it, and I feel that the first season or 2 they really focused in on that variety so that they would have the one overarching villain of the season. So whether it was Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne or whatever, Professor Zoom in the second season, like they focused on the one baddie, but then they sprinkled in all of the rogues villains throughout the seasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like they lost sight of that, and they just started recycling, and they just started, now we're going to do, now we're going to do Zoom, and now we're going to do, Savitar, thank you. And we're going to, Reverse Flash is going to come
Godspeed,
back. And
basically just
Godspeed. And I feel like they've lost sight of the variety of the rogues gallery, and like how exciting it is for him to have that power set that he's got to fight against, and how his speed offsets and manages through all that. But now it's just become a show where it's just speed versus speed. Who's running faster? Is it going to be the red lightning or the yellow lightning that runs faster, or the white lightning or the red? And it's like, no, like that's just not what it's about. It's about how can he, I want to see an episode about how he can use his speed to fight off a bad guy whose power is heat, or whose power is gravity, or whose power is, ice, or whose power, variety. Like, let's just, start using, maybe, I don't know, maybe COVID got pretty hard for the production set and they had to let all of their scientists go so that they couldn't really write through those types of stories. But that's kind of the problem that I had with Flash. And so, I mean, I'll still watch it, but I think
Yeah, you
now
got to see it
I'm
through now. You're
yeah,
committed.
yeah, 100%. I just feel like I'm at that point now where I'm more of a I'm just more of a bulk watcher. Like I'll watch like the first
Plow through. Yeah.
like there's 10 episodes, and then like I'm not the week to week kind of. Would you believe even too that Jade was watching it for the first 2 seasons and then she just dropped off? And I mean, if you can hold the attention of my wife with The Flash, like you're doing something good. And then it just got repetitive and
Yeah.
she dropped
With
off.
Ashley, it was the Barry and Iris aspect of it. You got it. The will they won't they is always clutch for a certain type of viewer.
It's so true though. like a shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
But I'm like that now with The Walking Dead, which is good because it's the final season. But
Yeah. What is it? 10th season?
11, and they're dragging.
Wow.
They're doing it in bulk batches of 8. So it's a 24 episode, basically I guess 3 arcs. 8 episodes break, 8 episodes break, 8 episodes, then she's done.
So is it literally been on for 11 years then? Has it been a season per year?
Yep.
Oh wow. Shit,
Yep.
It is 2022 though when you think about it. Like
yeah,
2011, that makes sense.
Show people thought was not going to last this long for sure.
Now it's made AMC.
Yeah.
Move over Shark Week.
Yeah. But like that's the same thing like you're saying to varieties. Like how much can you really do with a zombie apocalypse? Well, what they've done now is kind of just not have the zombies and just focus on people.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Which in the books is fine because it's, so many issues and then you move on to another story. But when it's, October to December, break to February, then February till April. And a lot of part of has always irked me since I think maybe it's the 4th season is you have 16 episodes and they will spend half of that 8-week chunk with this one character for this episode, this other character for this episode. And then by the time you get to the mid-season finale, then maybe you'll see the whole group together, break, and then waste more episodes focusing on one character.
Yeah.
But they're doing the Commonwealth now, so that's how you know it's over.
That was what I always enjoyed about the books when I was reading it too, was that I read the Walking Dead through trade. I think there was out of the 126 issues that they had, I think there was probably maybe 8 or 10 or maybe 12 issues that I read monthly, and I was like, no, like it's not monthly for me, it's trade. So every 3 months get the trade, plow through it in 20 minutes, and then I'm good. For 2 reasons. Number one, it just read like that, and then the second one is that it really, to your point, like it really expanded on. It wasn't about the zombies. Like the first maybe 3-4 trades, or in the TV's case, maybe the first season or 2, were focused on the zombies. But then it was just more about the people's psyche, finding a destination that protects them from what's going on and rebuilding society, and just the strive for it, and believing and having the hope and having all of this, and what that can do to people, whether it breaks them or whether it keeps them keeping on.
The one thing that I like about, because I also watch Fear the Walking Dead, the one thing that I enjoy that they've done this season that they have never done with the OG Walking Dead is that they've taken a character from season 1, episode 1, I believe, or even if not, just within the first 6 episodes of the first season, kept him on the show and have now made him a villain. So it's somebody you've watched from the start of the show is now the big bad that everyone's going.
Oh, that's cool. Is he from the comics, or is he like? Is this
with Fear? It's all except for Morgan Jones, which was in Walking Dead comic and the show, who's now on this one. These are all original characters for the program.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool concept, though. Like I would buy that because it's you watch the person break, right?
Yeah,
and get to the point where they just snap and feel like, oh no, I know what's best. I'm gonna run the show now. And then what is it that Aaron Eckhart says that in The Dark Knight? live long enough to die or to see yourself turn into
Either
the
die a
villain.
hero or live long enough to see yourself
That's
become
it.
the villain.
That's biting Two-Face, those motherfuckers.
That's a great meme that I like never really noticed until someone pointed out was, in when Two-Face wakes up with the Joker in the hospital, it doesn't recognize it's the Joker until it takes that little face mask off, despite his face being completely painted. He's like looking at him, and the mask comes off, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you."
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like what? Like that is kind of stupid. It's obviously the Joker.
I want to introduce that movie so badly to Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that he's quite at that age yet, but it's because it's more of a mindfuck movie.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's a thriller and it's a great movie. But I just don't know that it's for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's one guy really
destroying the city.
Yeah, and wanting to break the one guy he knows that's not going to break, but he just wants to see how far he can push him. And at the end of the day, whether you do or don't, I don't care. I'm still doing this.
Yep. Like one of the most impactful scenes was the when Batman is riding his Batcycle towards the Joker, and the Joker's driving the Mack truck, and then they get in the crash, and he's shooting at him. Come at me! It's like, oh, like I don't want to give my 10-year-old a heart attack watching that.
Or even if you watch the scene where he's decking the Joker in the interrogation room and lean over
the interrogation room. No.
Yeah, or his lean over and say, when they made this, he was actually punching him in the face.
Oh, that's right. Like that was legit.
Just knowing that, and then he's still laughing. Like he must be in some sort of pain. Like he's just telling him, like, hit me, like just like literally hit me.
But you know what? Knowing that, you can never understand, obviously, when someone does something to hurt themselves by accident or on purpose or whatnot. But you can almost now, knowing that, you can understand how he put himself in that situation where he overdosed or however it was, because he was like living the life, and he just lived it a little too close to the edge, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate, because he was young. Like I want to say he was like 24, 25, 26, like a young man.
Yeah,
Heath Ledger, everybody.
Yeah, a lot of guys cartoons. So I watched Stand By Me the other day. I was flicking through all my movies. I'm like, I haven't watched this in a long time.
Great movie.
Like River Phoenix too, another one.
Yeah. Jerry, My Secret Identity is Jerry O'Connell. Thank you. So good.
Yeah, those kids really didn't take off from that movie, did they? River Phoenix obviously did, but Will Wheaton outside of Next Generation.
And Sequest? Wasn't he in Sequest?
Was he in Sequest? I remember Sequest.
I thought he was in No. Sorry, I'm thinking of Jonathan. It wasn't Will Wheaton. It was Jonathan something.
Another one gone too soon.
That's right.
Brandis?
Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. But Will Wheaton was in Big Bang Theory. But Jerry O'Connell was in My Secret Identity, and then he was also in that TV show where they were time traveling. Sliders, thank you. Not time traveling, but going through different dimensions.
It's a Quantum Leap, but for the younger generation.
Right. Yeah, it was like a Gen X Quantum Leap. A GXQL. Yeah. Have you tried Wordle?
No, I have not tried Wordle. I have looked into Wordle, and I'm just like, okay, I can get it. It's like anything else, right? But what I don't care for is the constant score posting on my social media.
I don't get the score posting. I don't know how they're posting it, because it's not an app, which initially I thought it was.
You're taking your time to make sure that's posted. So you're taking time out of your day to find a way of posting that to your
because I'm color coding it, and like there's the so I tried it the last couple of I tried it today and I tried it yesterday.
Yeah.
And you have 6 tries to get the 5-letter word. And then there's if it's green, then it means that it's the right spot, right letter. Gold means that it's in the word but not in the right spot, and then black is not in. And I played it twice, and yesterday I didn't get it. This morning I got it, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is just a fad. Like, this is, I can't see. This is almost this is like a Sudoku where everybody's gonna jump on it and be involved in, like, oh, I love it, it's a great game, this, that, and the other, and then after a while it's just going to be the hardcores that stick with it.
Yep.
But I mean, it's not that fun. I'm already very learned. I don't need to be any more learned.
Why would you? I'll do you one better. This was a game show, which is literally what Wordle is. It's called Lingo. It was hosted by Chuck Woolery on the Game Show Network. And it's literally the game. You have 6 chances to get a 5-letter word. And if you get it in the right number or right order, it doesn't have to move. But this was, what year was this? It was early 2000s, 2002.
It's Chuck Woolery,
20 years ago.
Trying to sue this guy who just sold the game to the New York Times?
I have no, maybe. But this existed 20 years ago and is legit, just as you described. The only difference is after you get the puzzle right, you pick a ball and try to get a bingo on this board of numbers. Yeah.
And this is called Lingo, yeah. Porky, Lingo. Plead, Price. So what's the final word? What is the final word?
We may never know.
We may never know. Sorry, I cut you off, though. You were talking about Stand By Me. Was there anything that stood out about that?
No, movie? It was just River Phoenix. The one that went too soon.
Yeah. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie.
Based on was it a short story?
Yeah, a little novella by Stephen King.
That's right. That's what they call them. Not quite a short story, a novella. The Body.
Yeah, it's Kiefer Sutherland. There's quite a few people in it. I gotta turn these lights back on.
Why don't you go home and fuck your mother some more? Great insult.
Did you watch it from the beginning, or did you catch it?
I threw it on. No, I watched it from the beginning.
AMC?
No, again, I just have a lot of movies on my.
Oh, you literally put the movie in.
I was scrolling through my movies. I wanted to watch a movie one night. I had already caught up on. I rewatched Shang-Chi. That was the last Marvel I hadn't watched more than once. And Eternals, because I did watch that at home. So watched that. I'm like, I was in the S's. I'm like, okay, I'll watch this. It's been a couple of years.
So you've watched every Marvel movie,
with the exception of Eternals. Because that one I watched at home, so that's when it came out in January.
There's at least twice. There's a ton that I've seen only once, like a ton. I've seen Thor.
Every so often I'll watch them. Just like, oh, new one's coming out. I got a couple months. Let's watch them again.
Thor Ragnarok I've only seen once. Both Ant-Mans I've seen once. Eternals I've seen once. What else?
Oh, so many. We'll be here all day late and just
no, I think those are the ones that stand out though. But then there's others that I could just it's late one night, shades in bed. I feel like watching a movie that I'd always turn on the same ones, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I could watch, both of them. I could always throw them on. Winter Soldier, I could always throw it on.
Winter Soldier to me is, with the exception of the first Iron Man, is the closest to a perfect Marvel movie, because it's not like any other Marvel movie.
It's amazing. It has you're right. It has it's a perfect blend, right? It's a perfect blend of superheroism.
Yeah, like the Dark Knight. Not to I know they're similar in many ways, but different in so many more. But that's, you went into the Dark Knight not expecting a movie like that, and it's great. I can watch that over and over and over, just like I watched Winter Soldier.
When was the last time you saw Batman Begins? Yeah, it's been a while now.
It's hard to watch a movie where you know where it's going, and wastes an hour getting there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't see the first shot of him in costume till like an hour and 1 minute into the movie.
Well, isn't the first shot when he saves her from those bad guys, and then he's on the ledge, like he's on the banister? Maybe, I don't know.
No clear shots of him during any fight scene.
Yeah, but you do see him. You do see him eat a blue rose in the first, 15 minutes.
Fighting in jail.
Crazy. Pretty crazy. You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah. We're taking him away for protection. I don't need protection. Not protection for them. It shows the guys on the ground.
Meanwhile, all he's trying to do is eat his pea soup, what they're trying to give him.
Yeah.
I mean, honest to God.
I completely forgot about Ra's al Ghul until that movie. I had not read that many Batman comics at the time.
Like, I was kind of disappointed that Liam Neeson was Ra's al Ghul in that movie when I felt like it should have been Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just did that because it was Liam Neeson, and he's like he's a name, like he's a name that everybody knows, and it's like why him? Like it should have been, and then they just reduced Ken Watanabe to like a schmuck, like he's just a Padme impersonator from Star Wars.
Or like they ended up doing with Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3.
Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst. That was the worst.
It was funny though. He was funny.
See, I could see the humor in that after that movie is done and other movies have come out.
I was
kind of corrected.
The whole time I'm thinking he's doing this to fake him out. He's doing this to fake him out, and then no, this is legit. He is just some actor pretending to be the Mandarin.
Yeah, because like because Marvel, they have like a 97% accuracy in terms of casting. Like every time they cast someone, like they do a pretty bang up job casting the right person for the role. Where when Kingsley was announced as the Mandarin, I was like,
yeah, but when you saw they're doing his like Middle Eastern terrorist organization,
yeah,
like he was kind of like, those trailers are pretty scary, and you'll never see me coming.
That's true.
But no, I got what you're saying. Like when the character he's an Asian character, and now you're going Middle Eastern, but also getting a Brit.
Yeah,
Gandhi is playing this guy.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it. Anyway, when's the next Marvel movie? What's coming out next?
Oh, Doctor Strange.
When is that coming out? Is that
May?
Is that Disney Plus or is that a movie? It's a movie.
I know we're 7 days from the Super Bowl, so we'll likely see some more footage just for that.
Do you believe the hype in Tom Cruise playing superior Iron Man in the movie? I do,
because why not, right?
And he would do it 100%. He would do it
because he's all about the fans,
and he knows that there was talk in like the late 90s about him being like before RDJ, sorry, about him being like the person that should play Tony Stark. So I could see him being like, yeah, I'll suit up. I'll put on the silver.
It's a day, right? It's a day on set.
I just we talked a couple episodes ago about how I mentioned I'm very excited about Marvel, expanding the universe and opening doors to possibilities and universes and whatever, the larger multiverse as it is. I just hope that they don't overextend themselves and they don't play on that too much, and I'm trying to I was going to use a comic book analogy, but
go ahead, why not?
It's like Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies came out and it was phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, Marvel was putting out every comic book for months on end. It was a zombie cover. There was a zombie twist. It was like they were zombifying everything. And then more recently, they're doing like Old Man. Like Old Man Logan was the first one, and then they do Old Man Hawkeye, Old Man Black Widow, Old Man Hulk, and it's like, okay, time out. And
they're doing that again. Disney Plus, right? That like everyone's favorite episode of What If was the zombie one, and now they're going to do Marvel Zombies Disney Plus show.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm okay with that because I am intrigued to see how this, like how the like to flesh it out a bit more about how the zombie outbreak happened in the Marvel universe for sure. But I guess like I just don't want to see like every possible rumor that was like, I'm trying to think of an obscure rumor from back in the day of someone playing this Marvel character where all I can think of is casting. Like, was it Joaquin Phoenix was going to be Doctor Strange? That was one. Yeah, wasn't there another one too? Like the
McConaughey was going to be Ego.
Yeah, but who's Simon Pegg was going to be Wolverine? Like back in the day, it's like okay, like stop.
Danny DeVito.
Like they probably
he's the right height for like the true character representation of the comic. Was it Patton Oswalt was going to be MODOK before he ended up voicing MODOK?
See, I would buy that though.
Yeah,
I would sign myself up for that.
And then the most recent one was then Jim Carrey was going to be MODOK in the new Ant-Man. But now it sounds like they're going to bring back Corey Stoll as Yellow Jacket will be MODOK somehow.
Quantum verse. It's Quantumania, man.
That's right.
It's crazy.
It's the mania of the mania.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, but yeah, like I think Tom Cruise from Ottawa, I'll have you know as well, is gonna play Superior Iron Man, and he's supposed to be like, it depends on how true to the character they are to it. Like Superior Iron Man was like he was all messed up, like he kind of I think he got the power cosmic and he wanted to rule everything that was around him. So if you can get Tom Cruise to play that sadistic Scientology type player, then
if he was Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder, he could be Superior Iron Man.
Oh yeah, that's true, eh? We're looking for more Scientology, Tom. Can you if we were to put a couch on here like Oprah, could you play the part? Tell us how much you love her, Tom.
How much do you love Marvel?
Yeah.
You'll come and play for a day.
Do you remember the when that first came out, there was like, I don't know if it was a GIF because I think it was before GIFs were a thing, but it was when he was on the couch and Oprah like telling how much he loved Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
And it was like the lightning from the Emperor Palpatine, like, I love her. And just the lightning was shooting up. Oh, it was so good. I love her. Oh crap! So
yeah, that was a crazy time because they both had movies coming out. So everyone thought this must be a huge publicity stunt.
Because
she stock up for Batman Begins and
right.
War of the Worlds.
Great movie, War of the Worlds. Great movie. I'd never read the book prior to that, so I didn't know how it ended, and I was quite surprised.
I remember like all the critics having gripes, like, "Oh, why are they all tripods?" I'm like, well, why not? Who cares?
Yeah, like, when was the last time you saw an alien? Like, give me a break. Like, who made you the expert on alien design?
Well, they are film critics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they know everything about everything.
I've seen 47 movies with aliens, and not one of them had a tripod. Not one.
You want to test your knowledge on stuff before we wrap up? All right.
Florida man, does whatever the fuck he can. Makes headlines every time. Florida's paradigm. Look out! Here comes Florida man.
Here it comes. Florida Man.
Florida Man. What was the last one in the song? Florida Man.
Well, they're French. That's from the Mechanical Shark. They're on YouTube. They are the ones that granted us permission to use their song. They think it's genius.
I love it.
So thanks to them. I know you've been waiting.
And I hope I do them justice and get every one of these right. Although it is Florida.
It's tricky.
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
You'd think you know, but then at the same time you don't.
I would have a harder time getting right. Did a Florida man stay in on a Sunday and watch TV having coffee on than anything else? That would be hard.
They watch TV.
Yeah. True or false? Florida man stays in on Sunday and watches Dateline.
No, come on. They're watching wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble was last weekend. They were watching. Which apparently they moved their pay-per-views to Saturday. A friend of mine told me. That's not pay-per-view time.
I was actually debating on introducing the boys to wrestling to see if they enjoyed it, because I did when I was a kid too. So
did I. You can look at a lot of pictures of myself as a child around Christmas with the ring set up with a bunch of like rubber wrestlers in there. Hogan, Macho Man.
Yeah, I used to subscribe to the magazine that came out monthly. Anyway, I'm digressing.
That's too much Florida.
Too much.
We're just guessing. We're not trying to embody them. Like, come on.
Let's do this.
All right, so we'll put you on the all-time leaderboard. We got Ryan with a 9-7 record. He's 3-2 this year. And Michelle, not so much. I don't know. All right, number one. No, actually, no, this is number one. This is just another one I saw. Florida man steals $33,000 worth of rare coins, cashes them in a Coinstar, walks out with $29.30. Florida.
Is this part of the quiz?
This is just. I don't know.
This is
funny.
This is just true though.
Just is to get you in the mindset. 100%.
Okay.
This is the first one. Blank man arrested for trying to rob Waffle House with finger guns. Not the cool like emo Pete finger guns from Spider-Man 3. These are hardcore finger guns. Was this in Florida or not Florida? He's arrested trying to rob a waffle with finger guns.
You know what? I mean, to kick this segment off, I'm gonna say yes, true.
This was true.
Yes, I'm coming for you, Michelle.
The Florida man with the finger guns. All right. Arrested for DUI. Blank couple attempts to have sex in back of squad car. They're already arrested. I guess at this point you're just like, well,
I mean, yeah.
If we're going down, I'm going down too.
I'm gonna. Okay, so
we're all winners.
Yeah, I'm gonna say false. Although I'm gonna say false.
Is that your ultimate response?
Final answer.
A Florida couple was arrested for DUI. Here's the best part. This is a People magazine. People magazine story. So according to People magazine, officials said the couple, identified as a 35-year-old Megan Lynn Monendero and 31-year-old Seth Aaron Thompson, were seen attempting to disrobe in the back of a Nassau County Sheriff's Officer squad car Friday night. They had been riding bicycles at night without running lights and reportedly came in close contact with a motorist when a deputy spotted and stopped them.
Okay,
so charged with DUI, exposing sex organs, unnatural and lascivious act, and resisting without violence.
When you are writing about this subject matter, which is fine, you gotta tell the news to the people. Why would you use the word disrobe? Like, just when they're trying to strip down, like
you're trying to classy it up, I guess.
Yeah, like you're trying to classify the situation. Which
the best part is the very bottom line. Both reportedly have a lengthy criminal record.
It's not the only thing he wishes he had lengthy.
Heyo!
Heyo!
All right, you sir are 1-1. Blank man called 911 asking for a police dog to help him find some stolen heroin.
100%. 100%.
First of all, don't say it's stolen. Just say, like, you need the help. Just say, hey, I misplaced my heroin.
Yeah.
Like you're already going down for having it.
Like it's okay, so I can see theft in your future. I can see possession of drugs in your future.
Like, just knock a charge off. Like,
Yeah, that's why it totally is Florida. Like, it's definitely the south end of Florida for sure.
Ohio man
Oh.
was arrested earlier this year after he called 911 requesting a police dog to help him track down some heroin that was stolen from him. Someone stole it from him. He didn't steal it. He had it stolen from his person.
Is there a typo there? Is it supposed to say a bath salt Ohio man, or is it?
They shortened it. Okay, it was one of the strangest calls that the police chief, Mike McNeely, heard in his 41 years in law enforcement.
Yeah, well, no shit. That's it. Hey, fellas, put the
You are
donuts
not gonna
down.
believe this.
Put the donuts down. Come and listen. I got a doozy for you.
Man with warrants gives fake name, arrested on warrants for fake name. So he gives the name of someone else, but that someone else is wanted for arrest.
Oh, that's just like too good.
Who will be playing this guy in the movie, I wonder?
It would be either John Travolta or Nicolas Cage.
It's Face Off 2.
The sequel. Just buying myself more time.
Excellent pull.
I'm gonna say that. I mean, yes, Florida man, because there's no way that we're playing Florida man game without three straight no Florida. So I'm hedging my bets here, Florida man.
This is in Texas.
Fuck.
A game warden in Texas stopped a pair of men fishing without valid fishing license. One of the men did not have proper identification. According to the Houston Chronicle, the man without ID knew he had active warrants for his arrest. In an effort to deceive law enforcement, he gave the warden the name of a friend. As it happens, the man whose name was given to the warden also had warrants for his arrest. So despite his attempt to dupe the warden, the man was also taken into custody. And he's booked under giving a false name. So that's just...
You gotta hang out with different friends, my friend. You're hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Or the right crowd.
And he's given his friend's name, who's also... That's terrible. ATV. Do they drive ATVs in Florida is my first question.
ATV driver tells blank officer, "You'll never catch me." And then plows into a potted plant.
All I'm thinking was, did he have the 1930s criminal voice, like "You'll never catch me, copper"? See?
With his Tommy gun.
That Tommy gun.
Maybe.
Yeah, see? You'll never catch me.
Yeah. Everybody's doing Edward G. Robertson.
I'm gonna say no, Florida man.
No Florida man. That is your final ultimate response.
Yeah.
A Rhode Island officer.
Yes.
Like that, marauding ATV drivers. But a dozen of them were terrorizing the streets of Providence, Rhode Island Wednesday night, police said, until a potted plant stopped one of them. What's his name? Yeah, was it 25-year-old Ruddy Rodriguez pulled up right to the officers, laughed at them, and "You'll never stop or catch me," and then just drove right into the island in the middle of the road.
Okay, so like maybe this was a scene taken from one of Bobby and Peter Farrelly's, like, Rhode Island.
It is in Rhode
verse.
Island, yep. The Rhode Island verse.
Hey?
Maybe. It doesn't say, but maybe.
I got it right. That's all that matters. And where are the Farrelly brothers these days? Not making movies.
I think they are, but I don't think they're making movies together. I think
Ah,
Peter Farrelly's doing more stuff on his own now.
and they went on a stretch, an unattainable stretch of hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. They really did.
And that is Florida Man, true or false?
Florida man, does whatever the fuck he can. Makes headlines every time. Florida's paradigm. Look out! Here comes Florida man.
I'm gonna have to get the outro for that set up too.
So I am what, 2 for 2 and 4?
2 for 5, 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Okay, that's not bad.
It's
That's not bad. I
Respectable
will,
for the first go. I think so.
I'll take that for the inaugural.
Puts you on the leaderboard.
Makes you wonder what's going on down there, eh? Well, I mean, Christ, makes me wonder what's going on in my own backyard at times, but still, down there, it's...
We're gonna have like Ottawa Convoy Man at some point because they got DJs and shit down there now.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah, it's coming.
We'll parking lot that. That's we'll see how that goes. Yeah, no, it's you know what I mean, there's a lot of things that upset me about what's going on with the convoy downtown, but up there for me is that I haven't been able to get my comic books in almost 2 weeks. I'm running out of books to read.
Oh yeah, they're
So,
on
bank.
right?
Yeah, I can't get to them. Like I'm so upset. Anyway, they're fighting for my freedom, so I got to deal with it.
It's like the irony of all that is
Oh, I know.
you were fighting for my freedom, but in doing so, you're preventing me from having it.
Yeah, I can't go anywhere. I feel for those people that live down there, honking with the horns, or living with the honking.
Isn't that shit they do at Guantanamo, like prevent you from sleeping by blasting like Baby Shark or something?
It's a form of torture for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, but they're the coordinators and organizers of the protests are doing this goodwill gesture where they're going to stop honking the horns between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. as a sign of goodwill.
Okay, but
So
the rest of the day when there's babies at home,
just basically lost control of our city. We are the capital of a developed country that has no control over the capital. Literally.
good
no
night,
control.
everybody.
Yeah.
Swift dreams.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh Christ.
Anyway. On
Well,
to
that's
brighter and better days, I guess.
Yes, sir. That's all we can hope for.
I feel like you were going to press a button there. I was waiting for a segment to come on.
And scene. All right. That is open caller for this week for Steve. This is Cory. Keep it casual.
See ya.